One Question is designed to give subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences.
Greetings, this is Ty Brown and welcome to One Question. Let's pick up where we left off with Coach Tim Teykl, Director of High School Relations at the University of Houston. Coach, now you mentioned that other institutions in Texas.
Yes, sir.
So you mentioned to me before we started recording here that they have called you to ask you to put together kind of the handbook or even the job description of this Director of High School Relations
Yes, sir.
position. How are you able to, you've been in it for a year, how are you able to grasp the wealth of the position and make it so it tailors to each one of those specific schools? Because everybody probably wouldn't be able to hire Tim Teykl, head coach for 27 years, somebody who's well respected across the nation because of the work you've done on a national scale. Tell me about the work you've done to help other schools put together the position.
The first question I ask those other folks or other institutions is if it's a male or female, and that's what's cool. There are females involved. My daughter's one at Texas, for instance, is what's your strength? What are you strong at? Are you a great people person? Are you great at interpersonal communications? Do you have a dynamic sense of being graphically? You can do graphics, and then from there, because now I have a grasp of it because I didn't a year ago. And first and foremost, let's do what you're strong at. If you're a running back, you're going to be asked to carry the ball or catch the ball out of the backfield or block the end man on line of scrimmage or pick up the play side linebacker, right? You're not going to be asked to double team the nose guard, okay? Well, it's the same with this position. What are your strengths? And let's ask you to do those. And then those things that you may not be strong at, maybe like organizing the camp or organizing the walk-on program, then you go out and you with outreach and you get help to solidify your ability to do a better job there. And everyone's precarious. Some folks recruit nationally, some folks recruit regionally, some recruit only parts of states. And so once you sat down over a cup of coffee or a good hamburger, I like a good hamburger or a plate of enchiladas, and you share their vision, the vision I have, and then after you listen to them, it's like a guy telling me, I want to get married, and this is the girlfriend I'm looking for, or the gal I want to marry. Well, you sit and if you intimately listen to what they believe they want to do through the eyes of their head coach or their program, you can help them see maybe better than they can where they need to go with it. And then the thing that's hardest is they want to do it all up front. And you can't. My newsletter, for instance, I do a newsletter sometimes once a week, usually twice a week. That's a daunting task until I got it in place, and then I learned through the graphics how to do so. Yes, and then I created a monster. If I don't do it, I get phone calls, lots of them, or text or tweets or DMs. What, are you sick or did something? What's wrong? And it's cute. And then from there, I do hard copy letters and handwritten letters and tweets. I do a slogan every morning by 5 o'clock. Starts off my day. And then you start promoting your camps. You start promoting your walk-on window. You start promoting your clinics. You start promoting when they are open practices. You start promoting the awards that we won 3 national awards this year. You find different and unique ways to promote those, and then conversely, you turn that around, and I can do things that the assistants can't do, and there's things I can't do, like I can't go to the high schools. I can't have interaction with prospective student athletes, but I can go to clinics, and I can talk at clinics, and I can outreach at clinics, and I can outreach at UIL events that are doing realignment, and I can do those type of things, and then you network and you build that base, and you let them know that brand's there, and we're there to help you, and it's just like how I learned how to block the inside veer on a napkin. That's you wouldn't have learned it any other way, but being available.
So they I would assume they consider you an asset. They all know you here in Texas.
From what I've heard, yes, sir. It hasn't. I just don't outreach for the football program. I love it. I do it for boys and girls basketball and track and field and golf. And I'm not. It's cool, and it's cool because we all help each other. We all represent the same institution, and maybe I'll learn something from the way some of those young ladies or young men have done it. But from what I've been told, it's been invaluable. And I'm not getting paid a nickel by you to say that because I had my doubts. I know if I were a college AD, or if I was a high school superintendent or a high school AD in a mega school district, like the district I left, we would have this position. There's no question. We would have a recruiting coordinator on every campus. We would do that. It would be non-negotiable. And we would also have a life skills coordinator.
Right. So from your chair, and even though you're in the position, you think it's invaluable for all college football programs.
And I haven't been the folks that I've had conversations with, even here at the 95th AFCA convention that we're sitting at, I've had a lot of folks come up to me, and we'll just have a coffee or chat and talk. And how's it going? Do you miss high school? Yes, a little bit, but I don't. This is so much fun because it's virgin territory and not only for them but for me. And I do not have all the answers. But it's cool to get a phone call from our sister brother institutions, particularly in our region in the state of Texas. Most of those guys I either coached or coached against or coached with, and we pick each other's brains. Yes, we want to beat each other, but we're going to share each other's ideas.
What's best for the kids? What's
yes,
best for the game?
Sir. Yes, sir.
I'd imagine, Coach. Last question here: that there's a big element of compliance that you have to stay educated on, in terms of you and assistant coaches and some of the things you mentioned here about not going out.
Totally. And I don't know if anyone went through the hoop of fire stronger than I. When I came on board, I sat on 5 boards, and along with being a committee chair for the AFCA. And of course, when you're on a board, you don't get paid. It's kind of cute. And 4 of them were washes, but one of them was state 7-on-7. I was the only 2-time director of state 7-on-7 in Texas, and I had to write about a 3/4 inch thick packet, a report on my involvement with that to become compliant. I was the guinea pig for the NCAA to become compliant with the new legislation, with the interaction with PSAs, with prospective student athletes. Well, lo and behold, some of the other institutions in Texas have hired the same type of guy, me, who were very involved with 7-on-7. So some of them were even on the same board I was on. They don't have to write that report and I'm big on compliance. I'm not tooting my horn, but I was very versed in the UIL, which is what governs the state of Texas's intercollegiate athletics. The interscholastic athletics. I was way behind the curve with the NCAA stuff, and I wouldn't put myself there with the best, but I know it well because I've had good teachers. Because our compliance office at the University of Houston, second to none, and they saw my thirst and my hunger for being compliant. And in turn, if I can be a go-between for those coaches that are coming on board or that are older, maybe have the same experience but don't know the rules, I can be that go-to person. Even if they're on the road, they don't have to call compliance; they can call me. So it's a lot of fun, but it's ever changing. It's ever changing.
Well, Coach, I've known you for a long time, and a lot of stuff that I did here at the AFCA, and of course you helped us out when we were putting on the convention, and a lot of things we're doing. Mm-hmm. It sounds like Houston has an asset, and what they're doing is not keeping the asset to themselves. They are sharing your expertise in terms of how to set up the position with other schools in the state, which a lot of football programs don't necessarily do. So I think that's beneficial because they probably know it's good for the game and good for the profession.
That's kind. Those are kind remarks. I'm blessed to be at that institution. I'm blessed to be with the coaches that I work with and our athlete. I've now going through our second athletic director, and I have undying respect and love for them. And they have our backs, and we have their backs. It's fun. I really mean it. But those remarks are very kind. I'm fortunate. The profession's been good to Tim Teykl, and you can tell.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for joining me today on One Question.
Appreciate you. God bless you.
Yes, sir. That was Coach Tim Teykl. Coach Teykl is the Director of High School Relations at the University of Houston. And this is Ty Brown with One Question. And keep in mind, the role of a leader is to create and maintain an environment that people want to be a part of. And as always, be better tomorrow than you are today. This episode of One Question is produced by Spades Media Group, solving problems using creative leadership.